Hello and welcome to my talk today. My name is Dr. Varuna Srinivasan. I have a degree in medicine and public health from Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. I'm also the fellow of the Royal Society of Public Health in the UK. I am the founder of Tara Health Media, a digital platform built around sexual health education and empowerment in South Asian communities. Currently, we're building one of India's largest and most expansive sexual health informational databases. I identify as a bisexual immigrant South Asian woman. Before I start, let me ask you a couple of questions. Did you have a lack of formal sex education growing up? Did you fail to get a non-biased, comprehensive sex talk from your parents? And has much of what you know about sexuality come through the way of social norms? If you said yes to all the questions here, I want you to know that you are not alone. I too did not receive any formal conversation at home or at school and learned everything about sexual health through social norms. A lot of us, including me, grew up in a sex-negative culture. Social norms make up this culture. They are externally driven rules of obligatory, appropriate, and acceptable behavior shared by people in the same group or society. Simply put, our culture influences the way that we think about various sexual health behaviors. I noticed this specifically working as a doctor with Doctors Without Borders. I was posted in rural Chhattisgarh, working at an 18-bed hospital for women and children. It was interesting to see how much social norms dictate their health behaviors. 100% of my patients were cisgendered, heterosexual couples married at an early age looking to take care of their children. Sexual health was only discussed within the context of the gender binary, monogamy, and purity culture. I did not see a single patient who came into the clinic because they needed counseling around issues of sexuality, access to contraception as a single person, or for reasons other than reproduction. To give you a sense of the norms that are practiced or followed in this town of India, here are some examples. Gender is a strict binary, and no one should exist outside of this binary. A marriage should only be between a man and a woman because that is quote unquote natural. Monogamy is the only accepted relationship style. Women should be virgins until marriage and should be very careful about centering their every decision around their reputation. Premarital sex is taboo and wrong. And this list goes on and on and on. Our relationships, sexual activity, fashion sense, habits, and the media we consume are built on the foundation of these norms. It is so deeply ingrained into our lives. So how is it possible to unlearn and relearn another entire set of principles? But wait, what does it mean to unlearn? As per a simple Google search, it is defined as discard, parentheses, something learned, comma, especially a bad habit of false or outdated information, parentheses closed, from one's memory. Wow, that's intense. Sounds scary almost. How do you discard a memory, a learned experience, a shared experience, especially if it has dictated how we behave for close to up to 90% of our time on this earth? Using myself as a case study. In school, I did not have access to sex education and did not have a single friend who questioned their sexuality. So naturally, the norm I learned and subsequently set for myself was, I'm a cishet woman who's going to grow up to marry a cishet man. Well, I came out as bisexual in 2017 to a couple of friends. I wasn't out to the world and was basically still continuing to cosplay as a straight woman. I had attended pride rallies as an ally and continued to believe that my sexuality was not valid. At that point, I was also operating on the assumption that I could not be bisexual within the confines of my monogamous marriage. I struggled to find peace within myself because of the ways in which I grew up and imbibed the social norms around me. I had to learn everything about my sexuality in order to embrace myself. It wasn't learning more about bisexuality, but unlearning any toxic and outdated ideologies I had around my sexuality. In 2021, I attended Pride as a bisexual person. I started to be more out about my identity on social media. I believe that I can be bisexual and be in a happy marriage. This reminds me of an article I read in Harvard Business Review. Unlearning is not about forgetting. It's about the ability to choose an alternative mental model or paradigm. So maybe you don't have to discard all your memories. What a relief. Okay, but what does it actually mean to unlearn something? We can go over a quick 3-step process using one of the ideologies I listed above. The ideology I've set here is that gender is a strict binary and no one should exist outside of this binary. You were probably fed this narrative as a child from people you trusted and didn't think to challenge. Growing up, you saw girls wore pink and boys wore blue. Your understanding of gender is lacking. Now, this is the learning component where you were fed this narrative from people you trusted and that you didn't think to challenge. Growing up, you saw this gender identity and gender binary. You learned this point of view. And then you soon understand that it's outdated and is no longer serving you. You uncover the truth. Then you embark on an unlearning journey. Your understanding of gender is lacking. The first step in this process is to challenge everything. Ask yourself, is what I know about gender even accurate? Okay, but what is gender? I should look this up or ask a friend. You even decide to read books written by experts, take classes, and even attend TED Talks. You give yourself grace and allow yourself to experience moments of discomfort through the learning process. You then embark on the journey of relearning. You replace your old frame of mind with a new one. But it takes a lot of work. It is not something that happens overnight. But soon you go from realizing gender is a binary to gender is a spectrum. You are still learning. You realize that you will have to keep on learning. While it might sound easy, unlearning takes consistency, grit, and patience. We have to give ourselves room to fail, mess up, and regress. It is also important that we forgive ourselves along the way. The only way to move forward is to acknowledge and accept the path we've been on. I want to end this talk with a quote from feminist activist Gloria Steinem. The first problem for all of us, men and women, is not to learn, but to unlearn. Thank you.